Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we would have a look at the mechanics section of the suggestions past the devs for June of 2025. This is a set of stuff where it's not vehicles, but it's additions that they could make to the game that would actually be kind of fun. So let's get started, let's see what's available. And as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and also like the video. Let's get started. The first suggestion is a new escort-style mission known as Rescue the Basement Guy. This would be a new element that would be added to random battles. Basically, Basement Guy is located in a random building on the map. One team is tasked with rescuing Basement Guy, while the other has to prevent them from doing so. The mission would be divided into 3 phases. You have Phase 1. Team 1 fights to a capture point, where the building with Basement Guy is located, while Team 2 defends that point. Once the point is captured, Phase 2 begins. Phase 2. Basement Guy exits the building driving a Bob Semple tank. He must be escorted by Team 1 to a landing zone, where friendly helicopters will take him to safety. Team 2 must stop Team 1 and recapture Basement Guy and return him to the basement. To make things interesting, the Bob Semple tank cannot be destroyed, and it can only be disabled. At which point, whichever team has control of Basement Guy has to wait for him to repair before he can move again. Once Basement Guy is at the LZ, Phase 3 begins. Phase 3, Basement Guy is located at the LZ awaiting pickup. Team 1 must defend the LZ until friendly helicopters arrive to take Basement Guy to safety. Team 2 must recapture Basement Guy. The LZ is a capture point, the D point maybe, that must be either defended or taken. While Team 1 holds the point, a countdown timer will be visible to both teams. Once the timer reaches 0, Team 1 wins the game. If Team 2 manages to capture the point, then they win the game. The point will take much longer to capture than in normal game modes though, so Team 2 will have their work cut out for them. At the end of the match, both teams are treated to a cutscene, either a Basement Guy being returned to his basement or flying off in a helicopter, and finding out that the pilots are spies sent to bring him to another basement. No matter who wins, the Basement Guy always ends up back in another basement. As far as gameplay goes, it would be pretty straightforward. Both teams should get 3 free respawns per phase that don't roll over. For example, if you die 3 times in Phase 1, you don't have to leave the match. Just wait for your team to initiate Phase 2, and your tanks will be reset, giving you 3 more respawns. If either team loses all of their respawns before the next phase is initiated, then the match ends and the team left standing wins. That's the idea. It would be pretty fun mode, and maybe add another layer of gameplay to War Thunder. We also have a suggestion for the Roundel of the Luxembourg Air Force. With the addition of the Benelux subtree for France, obviously there weren't any planes for Luxembourg, as it doesn't have an air force consisting of fighter planes. But Luxembourg is owning its own Airbus A400M, which flies under the Luxembourgish flag, and it also recently placed an order for an Airbus A330 multi-role tanker transport. Additionally to that, some of the NATO planes are also flying with Luxembourgish registration as a part of the duties the country has to fulfill as a NATO partner. Adding the Roundel of the Luxembourg Air Force would give the small country some presence in War Thunder, as it currently is impossible to add any vehicles from it into the French tech tree, as there aren't any good options to add currently. There is also a suggestion to add in the description of the event boxes count opened on an account themselves. Basically, for accounts which open a ton of SL boxes or in large quantities, it's easy to lose track of how many boxes that you've already opened. So it might be worth adding some information about how many of the event boxes you end up opening. So basically people can see how much they have actually spent. Now, I doubt Gadget would ever do this, because one of the things about gambling is you don't really want the gambler to know how much they've spent, but the idea is it would be similar to the G boxes, where basically it shows you how many trophies you've opened, but instead for the SL boxes during the event. By the way, there's probably going to be some more SL boxes soon, since, of course, the summer event is going to be coming up probably in August. There is also a suggestion for Scottish crew voices for the Challenger DS. The Challenger DS is a premium MBT in the British tech tree, and portrays call sign 0C, or Zero Charlie, of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards during Operation Granby, the British contribution to the 1991 Gulf War. Under the British Army callsign matrix, 0C would have been the tank of the commanding officer of the RSTG, Lieutenant Colonel John Sharples. Recruiting from all over Scotland, the regiment was formed in 1971 through the amalgamation of the 3rd Carabiniers and the Royal Scots Greys. They are the senior Scottish regiment and the oldest surviving cavalry regiment of the line in the British Army. Scottish crew voices for the Challenger DS would add both historicity and further character to War Thunder, and reflect the multinational nature of both the United Kingdom and also the British Army. Scottish, English, Gaelic, the Scots language have rich, unique vocabularies, history, and also quirks, with many regional variations. Scottish voices have frequently added character and authenticity in popular media such as The Last Samurai, Outlander, Brave, and even James Bond. The Challenger DS represents an opportunity to add Scottish crews in War Thunder, and could also be expanded to the whole British tech tree through voice randomization per match, which would be pretty awesome. Let me know what you think about these suggestions, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.